Hi there. So here we are at the end of this sort of little series of short reflections as we move towards the United gatherings that are starting next week, and I'm so looking forward to being there with you as we celebrate and as we worship together. I'm pretty sure by now you're struggling to get more and more into the suitcases, the roll bags, and again you're wondering whether it's all going to go in the car or not, but it will do, and we will be there and we will have a great time together. I don't know whether you're anything like me, but as I sort of look back over my life, I have a sort of a series of embarrassing moments, far too many to mention really, but one or two that really stick out for me. For instance, as a child, I remember going to a park and being chased by geese and being attacked by geese as far as I was concerned, and there I was running in my sort of little red shorts that I was made to wear by my parents, and sort of falling flat on my face and being pecked at by geese, and still remembering it from time to time and being embarrassed by it and probably in need of ministry for it. I can think back to my time when I was at theological college, and my eldest son had been born, my second son just been born, and just before my finals I told Carrie, my wife, that I was going to play in a rugby sevens tournament, and she suggested that it might not be the best idea of all time. And as I played in that last match in the final of the rugby sevens tournament, a 20-stoner fell on my knee and ruptured my anterior cruciate ligament, and I had to make my way home and stand at the door because I couldn't get through the door. And as Karen came to open the door to me, I had to own the fact that I had damaged myself seriously, and she was as gracious as she could be, and it was an incredibly embarrassing moment for me. I remember perhaps more poignantly back in 1986 going to a conference called Acts 86 where John Wimber was the main speaker, and I went with a friend of mine, Mark Mellish, one of our regional directors here at New Wine, and there was this ministry time at the end of the session, and the first word that John Wimber had was for women with gynecological problems. And I remember Mark jumping over the fence and rushing down to the front and me following him. And as we stood there amongst all these women being prayed for, it was a little bit embarrassing in one sense, and yet unbelievably overwhelming as we met with the power of Jesus through the ministry of the Spirit in a way that was transformational for both of us and setting us on a course in terms of leadership and New Wine for the years that lay ahead. It's that hope that I have as we approach next week, that we will meet with Jesus, both in the worship, the teaching, and in the ministry, that he will come to us and move in our hearts and in our minds and equip us and anoint us for ministry. And perhaps at times we'll sense that we're called to do things that are foolish. But in essence, I think that's what faith is. It is the willingness to look foolish. I'm pretty sure that Noah looked foolish building an ark in the desert, and that Sarah looked foolish buying maternity clothes at the age of 90, and David looked foolish, racing towards a giant with a sling and a few stones, and the wise men looked foolish chasing a star, and that Peter looked foolish getting out of a boat in the middle of the night, in the middle of a lake, in the middle of a storm, and walking on the water. And without wanting to sound sacrilegious, I think Jesus looked foolish hanging naked on a cross. But I think the results speak for themselves, and it is the essence of faith, that Noah and his family were saved, that Sarah did give birth to Isaac, that David did defeat Goliath, that Peter did get to walk on water, and that Jesus did rise again. And that's what we're celebrating as a movement, as we gather together, the resurrected Lord Jesus, and as we seek to reflect that in the lives that we live as a people of faith and courage. Here's another song that we'll be singing next week from the album Wildfire.
You give me a brand new name, straight from your mouth, oh God. You call me your precious love. My fear and shame are gone. Yes, I am yours. Yes, I am yours. crowned with my Father's love, dressed in your royal blood, my heart forever safe, here in your grip of grace, held high, held in your hand. Forever I'm held high, held in your hands. You set my heart ablaze with your salvation flames, rising with holy light, knowing I'm your delight. Held high, held in your hands, forever I'm held high, held in your hands. I see my Father run to hold me again. My heart is overcome, I'm chosen by grace. I see my Father rise to hold me again. My heart is overcome, I'm chosen by grace. Held high, held in your hands, forever I'm held high, held in your hands. Held high, held in your hands, forever I'm held high, held in your hands. You set my heart ablaze with your salvation flames.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on these series of devotions, for listening to the music, probably singing the songs, and I so look forward to joining with you next week at Shepton Mallet for the United Gatherings. See you there.
First